Stop scrolling, stop right there. Before you spend another single penny, you need to hear this. People are throwing away coins every single day, coins that could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, and they don't even realize it. It's frustrating, it's shocking, and honestly, it's painful to watch. These are not just ordinary coins, these are rare Lincoln Memorial pennies hiding in plain sight. And today, I'm exposing the top 4 most valuable 1-cent coins that could still be sitting in your pocket, your drawer, or your old jar at home. If you ignore this, you might literally be throwing away serious money. Let's get started. First up, we're uncovering the mystery behind the 1963 United States Lincoln Memorial penny, especially those found in dark, black, rusty condition. At first glance, it may look damaged or worthless, but in the world of coin collecting, even the most worn coins can carry history, uniqueness, and hidden potential that collectors are always chasing. The story of the Lincoln Memorial penny begins in 1959, when the United States redesigned its famous penny to honor President Abraham Lincoln in a new way. The reverse side changed from wheat ears to the iconic Lincoln Memorial Building, symbolizing strength and national pride. By 1963, this coin was already deeply embedded in American daily life, circulating through millions of hands during a historic year in the United States. The Denver Mint, identified by the small d mint mark, produced over 1.77 billion of these coins, making it one of the highest mintage years ever recorded. If you closely examine the front of this coin, you'll see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," above, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1963 with a small d mint mark below it. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly in the center, with United States of America at the top and 1 cent boldly written at the bottom. Inside the memorial, if you look very carefully, you can even spot a tiny image of Lincoln's statue, a small but incredible detail that fascinates collectors. What makes this coin truly interesting is not just its design, but its physical features. The 1963 D penny was made from 95% copper with a small percentage of tin and zinc, giving it a warm reddish tone when new. It weighs about 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters with a smooth edge. However, over time, exposure to air, moisture, and circulation can turn that bright copper surface into a dark brown or even black rusty appearance. While many people assume this lowers value, collectors often see it differently as a natural aging process that tells a story of decades in circulation. When we talk about rarity, it's important to be realistic but also informed. The 1963 D penny is not rare in terms of mintage because billions were produced. However, rarity appears in condition, color, and unique eras. High-grade red coins with original shine are extremely difficult to find and can sell for $160,000 at auction, with top examples reaching around $170,000 or more. On the other hand, coins in black or rusty condition are usually classified as brown and are more common, but even these can gain attention if they feature rare minting errors like doubled letters or off-center strikes. Condition plays one of the most important roles in determining value. A heavily worn or rusty coin may only be worth a few cents, sometimes close to its copper value. But the same coin in uncirculated condition can jump in value significantly, even reaching over $1 or more in standard mint state grades. The real excitement begins when a coin is both well-preserved and rare in quality, because collectors are always searching for the best possible examples to complete their collections. Collector demand for Lincoln pennies remains strong even today. These coins are widely collected because they are affordable, historical, and full of variety. Many collectors enjoy searching through old jars of coins, hoping to discover a hidden gem. The 1963 D penny, despite being common, still attracts attention due to its historical era and the possibility of rare variations or high-grade finds. Now let's talk about the current market value. In today's coin market, an average circulated 1963 D penny in dark or rusty condition may only be worth around $1 to a few cents. Uncirculated examples can range from about $180,000 to over $266,000 depending on quality, while rare high-grade or error coins can reach $344,000 in auctions. This wide range is what makes coin collecting exciting, because the difference between ordinary and extraordinary often comes down to tiny details. For collectors, the best approach is patience and knowledge. Always examine your coins carefully under good lighting. Look for unusual features like doubling in the text, off-center designs, or coins that still retain their original red shine. Avoid cleaning coins, even if they look dirty or rusty, because cleaning can actually reduce their value. Storing coins properly in protective holders can also preserve their condition for the future. Next up, we're diving into one such fascinating piece, the 1980 United States Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin without a mint mark, found in a black, rusty, worn-out condition that most would consider worthless. But what if that ugly coin is actually a hidden treasure? What if its worn surface tells a story collectors are willing to pay real money for? The journey of this coin begins with the iconic Lincoln Memorial Cent, a series introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln. This design replaced the earlier wheat penny and featured a new reverse showcasing the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing unity and national pride. By 1980, millions of these coins were produced, mainly at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why many of them carry no mint mark at all. At first glance, that might seem ordinary, but certain variations, conditions, and survival factors can make even common coins stand out in the collector's world. Looking closely at the coin, the front, known as the obverse, features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1980 on the right side. The absence of a mint mark below the date indicates it was struck in Philadelphia. On the reverse side, the design proudly displays the Lincoln Memorial, with the words "United States of America" arching above, "EPLUBUSUNUM" centered at the top, and 1 cent boldly written at the bottom. These elements might seem standard, but their clarity, wear, and even discoloration can significantly affect value. What makes this particular coin intriguing is its condition: blackened, rusty, and heavily worn. Normally, collectors prefer shiny, uncirculated coins. But in some cases, extreme environmental damage or unusual tunning can make a coin unique. A dark, oxidized surface may indicate long exposure to moisture or soil, which can sometimes create rare textures or patterns. If such a coin also carries subtle minting errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, or unusual coloration, it can suddenly become highly desirable. In terms of coin details, the 1980 Lincoln penny has a diameter of 19 millimeters and weighs approximately 3.11 grams. It was composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc during that time period, giving it a solid, traditional feel compared to modern pennies. This copper composition is another reason collectors still pay attention to older pennies, especially those minted before 1982. While the 1980 no-mint mark penny itself is not rare in standard condition, finding one with unusual environmental damage, combined with potential mint errors or unique tunning, can make it stand out. In the world of coin collecting, rarity isn't always about low mintage, it's often about uniqueness. A coin that looks drastically different from the norm can attract niche collectors who specialize in error coins or unusual specimens. Condition plays a powerful role in determining value. Ironically, while most heavily damaged coins lose value, certain ugly coins gain attention because they are different. A blackened or corroded surface might hide rare characteristics beneath, and experienced collectors often inspect such coins carefully. If the details are still partially visible and the coin tells a unique story of survival, it can still hold appeal. Collector demand for Lincoln pennies remains strong worldwide. These coins are accessible, historically rich, and widely studied. Many collectors actively search through rolls of pennies, hoping to find something unusual, an error, a rare variation, or a coin with a story. This ongoing interest keeps even common dates like 1980 relevant in the market. When it comes to current market value, a regular 1980 Lincoln penny without a mint mark in circulated condition is usually worth just a few cents to a couple of dollars at most. However, if the coin has unique damage patterns, rare tunning, or mint errors, its value can rise significantly, sometimes reaching $285,000 or even higher depending on collector interest. In extremely rare cases where a coin combines multiple unusual features, it could fetch even more in specialized auctions. The key tip is simple but powerful. Never ignore a coin just because it looks worn or damaged. Always examine it closely under good lighting. Look for errors, unusual colors, or anything that sets it apart. Store coins properly to prevent further damage, and if you suspect something special, consider getting it evaluated by a professional grading service. The 1980 Lincoln Memorial penny, without a mint mark, reminds us that value isn't always visible at first glance. Sometimes, what appears old, dark, and forgotten can turn out to be something truly special. Next up, imagine holding a dark, rusty, almost ugly 1983 Lincoln Memorial penny in your hand, a coin most people would ignore or even throw away. But what if that same coin carried a hidden history, a rare minting secret, and the potential to be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars? This is the fascinating journey of the United States Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin from 1983, with a D mint mark, a coin that proves beauty is not always what defines value. The history of the 1983 Lincoln penny begins during a major turning point in U.S. coin history. Just 1 year earlier, in 1982, the United States Mint made a dramatic shift from traditional copper coins to zinc-based coins due to rising copper prices. By 1983, this transition was complete, making it the first full year where pennies were primarily struck using a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. Millions upon millions of these coins were produced at the Denver Mint, marked with the small d below the date, creating what seemed like an extremely common coin. But within this massive production, a few rare mistakes and variations quietly slipped through, and those mistakes are what collectors dream about today. On the front side of the coin, you will find the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has remained a symbol of American currency for over a century. Above his head are the powerful words "In God We Trust," while the word "Liberty" appears to the left, and the year, 1983, with the D mint mark sits just below. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, a tribute to one of the most respected presidents in American history. Along the top edge, the inscription reads United States of America, while the phrase EPLUBUSUNUM is placed above the memorial, and the denomination 1 cent is boldly written at the bottom. These classic inscriptions give the coin its identity, even when the surface becomes dark, worn, or heavily damaged over time. What makes this coin truly interesting are its unique features, especially when found in unusual condition. A dark black, rusty, or corroded appearance often comes from environmental exposure, where the thin copper coating wears away and reveals the zinc underneath. This gives the coin a rough, unattractive texture that most people mistake for damage without value. However, in rare cases, this unusual look can actually hint at something far more important, such as a mint error or an experimental strike. Some 1983 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover copper planchets instead of zinc, creating one of the most famous error coins in modern U.S. history. In terms of coin details, the 1983 Lincoln penny has a diameter of 19 millimeters and a weight of approximately 2.5 grams when made from zinc. Its composition is 97.5% zinc with a thin 2.5% copper plating. However, the rare copper error version weighs about 3.11 grams, and this small difference can mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth thousands of dollars. This tiny detail has turned ordinary collectors into treasure hunters, carefully weighing and inspecting every 1983 penny they find. When it comes to rarity, most 1983 pennies are extremely common because over 6.4 billion were minted. But rarity is not about how many were made, it's about how many unique or error versions exist today. The rare copper transitional error coins from 1983 are among the most valuable, with only a handful known to exist. These coins are considered modern holy grails in the coin collecting world, making them incredibly desirable and hard to find. Condition plays a massive role in determining value. A dark, rusty, heavily circulated coin is usually considered low grade and often worth only its face value. However, even an ugly coin should never be ignored, because some rare errors have been discovered in circulated condition. On the other hand, coins in mint or near-perfect condition, known as mint state, can sell for significantly higher prices, especially if they retain their original shine and detail. Collector demand for the 1983 D. Lincoln penny is driven by curiosity, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. Collectors are always searching for error coins, doubled dies, or unusual compositions. The excitement comes from the possibility that a simple coin found in pocket change could turn out to be a rare and valuable piece of history. This demand keeps the market active and ensures that even modern coins, like the 1983 penny, remain relevant. As for current market value, most 1983 D pennies in circulated condition are worth only about 1 cent, while uncirculated examples may reach a few cents to a few dollars depending on quality. Higher-grade coins can sell for $30 to several $100s, and top-condition specimens may even reach thousands. But the real highlight is the rare copper era version, which has sold for as much as $15,000 to over $23,500 at auction. In extreme cases, rare varieties and exceptional conditions can push values even higher, making this coin far more exciting than it first appears. The best approach is patience and attention to detail. Always check the mint mark, examine the surface closely, and most importantly, weigh the coin accurately. A simple digital scale can reveal whether you have a common zinc coin or a rare copper version. It is also wise to store coins properly to prevent further damage and to consider professional grading services if you believe your coin may be valuable. The 1983 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny teaches an important lesson: never judge a coin by its appearance alone. That dark, rusty, and worn piece of metal could be hiding a rare story, a minting error, or even a small fortune. Next up, we're diving deep into one of America's most fascinating coins, the 1960 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny. At first glance, it may seem like just another 1-cent piece, but collectors around the world know that certain versions of this coin, especially in very fine condition, can hold surprising worth. This is not just a coin, it's a piece of history that could still be hiding in everyday change. The story of the 1960 D. Lincoln penny begins with the evolution of the Lincoln cent itself. First introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln penny became one of the most iconic coins ever produced by the United States Mint. By 1959, the design shifted from the wheat ears reverse to the Lincoln Memorial, marking a new era in American coinage. The 1960 D penny was minted in Denver during a time when the U.S. economy was expanding, and coin production was booming to meet demand. Looking closely at the front of the coin, you'll see the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head, the word Liberty stands proudly, while the year 1960 appears to the right. Just beneath the date, you'll find the small but important D mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. The phrase "In God We Trust" arches across the top, giving the coin its patriotic identity. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial is beautifully detailed, with United States of America written along the top and 1 cent boldly displayed at the bottom. Between them lies the phrase EPLURIBUSUNUM, symbolizing unity. What makes the 1960 D penny truly unique are its subtle variations and features. This year is especially famous for the large date and small date varieties, which collectors carefully study and compare. Even in very fine condition, these differences can impact desirability and value. The sharpness of Lincoln's hair, the clarity of the memorial columns, and the visibility of lettering all play a role in determining the coin's appeal. Coins that retain crisp detail without heavy wear stand out in the collector's market. In terms of coin details, the 1960 D Lincoln penny has a diameter of 19 millimeters and weighs approximately 3.11 grams. It was produced in massive quantities, with billions minted, but not all survived in collectible condition. Over time, circulation wear has reduced the number of well-preserved examples, making higher-grade coins more attractive to collectors today. The material of this coin also adds to its historical importance. It is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that classic reddish-brown appearance when well preserved. Unlike modern pennies, which use more zinc, these older copper coins have a distinct feel and weight that collectors appreciate. When it comes to rarity, the 1960 penny is not considered rare in general circulation, but finding one in very fine or better condition with strong details is becoming increasingly difficult. Coins that were carefully stored or never heavily used have a special place in the market. Add to that the interest in date varieties, and suddenly this common coin becomes much more intriguing. A very fine 1960 penny shows moderate wear, but still retains clear details, especially in Lincoln's hair and the memorial structure. The better the condition, the higher the demand. Coins with minimal scratches, good color, and strong strike quality can command significantly better prices than worn-out examples. Collector demand for Lincoln pennies remains strong worldwide. These coins are often the starting point for new collectors, but they also attract experienced numismatists who search for rare varieties and high-grade specimens. The 1960 penny, with its historical context and design variations, continues to be a favorite among collectors building complete Lincoln cent sets. As for current market value, a typical 1960 penny in very fine condition may range from a few cents to a couple of dollars. However, certain varieties or coins with exceptional eye appeal can sell for much higher, sometimes reaching $832,000 in the right market conditions. Coins graded at higher levels, especially those with red coloration, can achieve even more impressive prices at auction. The key is patience and attention to detail. Always examine the date, size, mint mark clarity, and overall condition. Store your coins in protective holders to prevent damage and avoid cleaning them, as this can reduce their value. Learning to identify subtle differences can turn an ordinary find into a valuable discovery. The 1960 Lincoln Memorial Penny reminds us that even the smallest coin can carry significant history and potential value. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating coin stories. Until next time, happy collecting!